Here at Rampart, we have some very talented students. One of our seniors, Jillian Layton, is one of those extraordinary people as she dances at a studio outside of school.
I don't know, it was kind of like a random idea I had. I just went up to my mom and was like, I want to take a hip hop class. And we had some family friends that went to the studio, and I started taking just a hip hop class, and then the next year I tried out for the competition team, and with that kind of started all the other styles.
She's one of the few dancers in the studio that goes to Rampart, so Karen got the opportunity to talk with some of her fellow dancers and dance instructor.
It's been amazing, it's been fun. She's always super sweet and always positive.
Jillian has been dancing for 5 years at the studio, and she has improved so much in those 5 years.
She's an amazing person to work with. She's really helpful, and she basically memorizes everything for us if we forget it, so that's really helpful too.
Dance is another way for people to express emotions, and this has become a great outlet for Jillian.
I'm able to express myself in another way because I'm not very good at talking about my emotions or how I'm feeling. I feel like dance is a great way to escape to those emotions and express them better.
After dancing for nearly 7 years, we looked back at some of the routines and dances that have stuck out the most.
I'd say the first time I was on stage competing was that moment of this is what I want to do the rest of my time in middle school and high school. Back to my first year competing, there was one, it was called Missy. It was my first hip hop piece that I was competing, and it was just super fun, and it was there was 12 of us, but I was able to meet people at the studio and get closer to people, and it's just one of my favorite memories. I'll feel I'll always remember that dance.
Jillian dances at Kemper Dance Academy with lots of other dancers, so she's been able to impact others and the studio.
She has a huge impact on the studio just because she works hard, she cheers on everybody, and she's a great role model.
She's always helped me through hard times, and she's always been super kind to everyone and always positive.
She's always had a really positive attitude, so it really helps bring up my courage and confidence when I'm dancing and during conventions too.
I mean, I'd say dance is something for everyone. I don't think you can really be bad at dance. I think as long as you are enjoying it and having fun with it, that's the most important thing. Being willing to step maybe out of your comfort zone and just let yourself go and just enjoy it.
Although we don't always see what students are doing outside of school, RHS has some amazing individuals like Jillian. We wish you the best of luck on your upcoming competitions, Jillian. This has been Katelyn Zaiger reporting for KRAM.
Taylor Delaney is a junior at Rampart who has an interesting passion. Growing up in Colorado, he spent his childhood on the ski slopes.
I live up in the mountains for half the year, and I go to school there for half the year, and I ski from about 6 to 12 in the morning, and then I go to school after that until 5 o'clock.
Well, the ski racing lifestyle is really interesting. We started back when Taylor was probably, I guess he was 5, and our full-time home is here in Colorado Springs, and part-time home is in Frisco, Colorado, up in the mountains.
His dedication to the sport has brought him many accolades and a strong ranking among kids his age.
So last year I finished 4th in the nation for one of my events, slalom, and the other event, GS, I finished 6th in the nation.
Through hard work, Taylor is able to make some impressive goals.
I would say my goals are to go D1. I would say my goal is Dartmouth or Middlebury.
It's enlightening to see a fellow classmate with such eagerness to put effort into something they love.
I just love to go fast. I love adrenaline, and I've been doing it for a while, and I've kind of just fallen in love with it.
He's driven. I mean, based on what I know of him, he is definitely very driven. He has an internal core that is constantly wound up.
We've never had any kind of problem motivating him. It has been one of the constants that we've required of him from the beginning, which is we're never going to make you go to practice. We're never going to try and motivate you to, get out of bed and get out there when it's 10 below zero to do your training. That all had to come from him.
It seems impossible that Taylor could balance school and high school sports because of the amount of time he spends in the mountains, but Taylor has a great support system that helps him pursue his dream.
We try to be sure that we're communicating with his parents and communicating with him, and then we also work closely with his tutors. His parents actually hire a set of tutors up there in Vail, and they support him on a daily basis, and then we communicate through all of those other avenues to be able to make sure that he's checking the boxes academically. And other than that, I try to be sure I give him opportunities to talk about what it is that he's doing, because not everybody necessarily knows, and so being able to talk about your passions is important.
Academics come before all, because in the end, even if you go as far as you're going to go in sports, academics are going to catch up to you.
That he tries to make sure that he knows the content and that he's doing what he needs to do. And in terms of student council, he's definitely, he's present. When he's there in classes these days, which granted, this is a whole different paradigm, right? I only see the kids once a week in person, but when he's there, he's on it. And when I ask him to do anything, he jumps.
My name's Taylor Delaney, and I ski because I love it.
This has been Jackson Champagne reporting for KRAM. Stay safe, Rams.
Rampart is full of students that are passionate about their hobbies. One senior, Katie Girardeau, decided to turn her hobby into a business.
Jewelry is just kind of a fun way to express yourself, because you can have some funky earrings or a cool necklace or a cool bracelet, and if you made it yourself, then it means more because you put in that time and effort, or if you received it from someone else, then it means more because they appreciate you, or you're really good friends if they're willing to take their time to make something for you.
Katie's a very hard worker. She's a bit of a perfectionist and very creative. She's always doing some kind of creative, whether it's earrings or art.
Katie, she's very, very creative. She always tends to keep busy with projects. And this new one with selling her earrings, she's done quite a bit for that, so we're hoping that this business is going to go really well.
Every business is sparked from an idea.
When COVID started, I didn't really have a lot to do, so my mom said, how about we do some crafts? And I came up with the idea to get some earring hooks and some eye pins and some clay to be able to make my own earrings. But then after realizing that clay is really hard to work with when you don't have any experience, I decided to get some little charms, and from there I was like, hey, I kind of enjoy doing this and making earrings. So then I was like, hey Mom, what if I decided to sell them? And it pretty much went on from there.
Of course, Katie's not alone in her business endeavor.
With Katie's earring business, I set up the website, I maintain the website, I make sure that we get enough items listed for customers to come and see.
I help Katie with her Facebook Live shows, giving her the inventory so that she can show them on Facebook.
Everyone has a favorite part in the business.
Well, I love computers, so to me I like maintaining the website and just updating, adding earrings that Kitty creates, and just adding items to the website.
I get to wear them and try the earrings out. I'm wearing a pair now.
So my favorite part, I would say, is getting to pick out all the beads because they're so pretty and there's so many different ones. And if you really go looking through the internet for where to buy them, then you can find some really cool ones. And another really good thing about getting to buy all the charms is that I have a little bit more variation, because sometimes it's kind of hard to find exactly what you want.
You can find Katie's website at babygjules.tewkster.com. This has been Zoe Baars, signing off.
With the season of COVID-19 still in check, students at Rampart want to make sure that they are still being active and doing hobbies they enjoy. One such student, David Hahn, chooses to participate in the extreme sport of motocross.
So it's a sport where people race dirt bikes on a dirt track, and it's a lot like, I guess, cross-country and points-wise, where there's points for each position you get, and at the end of the season, whoever has the most points will win the season. And then for the race, whoever crosses the checkered will get first.
Basically, it's a sport. You ride dirt bikes around a track, It's a timed competition. Usually there's a time limit or a number of laps.
I've done motocross for 12 years, since I was 4, racing, and then I got my first bike when I was 3. It's eventful, it's action-packed, it gets my blood going, and there's a tight community around it because it's a relatively small sport, and everyone in it's just super family-oriented.
David can't do it by himself, though.
So my dad, he pays for everything. He works on the bikes. He drives me everywhere when I couldn't drive, and that was his main role. And then my mom just was like my supporter from the sidelines.
Pretty much while he was growing up, I was taking him to the track on weekends, and of course fixing his bikes, taking him to practice. A lot of time and effort involved. Now that he's older and he's able to drive, he can do a lot of these things himself.
Although motocross is extremely rewarding, David has to overcome new challenges and obstacles because of the virus.
It's closed down a few races and limited the amount of participants in the races.
Well, you know, we've kind of retired here with COVID coming along. All the races this year were postponed until about August. They finally started racing again. And at that point in time, it's just, you know, we felt it wasn't worth competing this year because such a short season. It's just really, it pretty much COVID shut everything down.
So for the first part of the season, we didn't have a season because almost everything got canceled. And then a few of the organizations opened up because it's an outside sport. And it was just normal COVID procedures, but the racing continued to go about midway.
Despite the difficulties, we are wishing good luck to David and his future seasons of motocross. This has been Danny Kaminsky reporting for KREM.